and infiltrate the mind with ideas to make sure that people don't have ideas. Step 1, in the epic push for global colonization. Global colonization, it has nothing to do with specific points of land. It has something to do with the world. So you tie these things into world war and world, right? They always use world war. If there's a world war, then that means somebody is trying to take over the whole planet. It's the whole thing. Then we're dealing with, oh my God. All right, let me slow down. Let me take a breath. Okay. So the document. Let's stay on the document, because I don't want to sound crazy, man. And sometimes these dreams, there's a lot going on in this dream. And I didn't write none of this shit down, so I'm just going step by step. All right. So in the document stated that someone from another galaxy appeared here. Confirmation to this document states that they will appear here, take, and then go to the next planet. The people that we are looking at or dealing with are literally global, not global, galactical explorers. They travel from planet to planet, suck the planet dry from resources until it's completely done, and go to whatever else planet they can do it to. They have been doing this for hundreds and hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of years. It states this on the document. This is how they maneuver. Their civilization does not have a home planet. They are not native to no planet. What they do is they find a planet that they want, just as well as what we are doing right now in NASA and ECT and all these other space stations. They're looking for a planet that is very similar to this one so they can go and colonize it. So let's move forward. Find a planet that is inhabitable. Mine the entire planet for every resource you can possibly mine it for. In the process of mining this entire planet, there's going to be a defense mechanism for the planet. The defense mechanism is the native people to the planet. The native people work like antibodies. Although they may not be strong enough to fight off what we consider a galactical virus, the people who are native to all land work like antibodies. When foreign objects come, it looks at the foreign object, determine if the foreign object is helpful or harmful. The minute the native as an antibody, the antibody. So the minute the native or aboriginal or whatever you want to call it determines that he or she is of an objective that is here to destroy what we call the body, Earth, the body, then that antibody will reject the foreign object, which means it will fight off whatever object is on that body or landmass, as you see. So in the process of all this, the entire first step is to weaken the antibodies so they can infiltrate the system. Okay, how do you weaken the antibodies? Virus. Lab created virus. Study the people from far above for years. Find out what their diet is like. Also send down replicas inside the neighborhood so you can mingle with them. The same way they did in the movie Avatar. All of this stuff is in the documents. Same way they did in the movie Avatar. They can create replicas of specific type of people. Send them down to mingle with the things, or mingle with the antibodies, or as in the people, and get their culture, get their ways, learn what they eat, learn what they like, ECT, all so they can take information or intel back to the space station, and then they can create a virus. The first step is to weaken the people by virus. Every single colonization and colony that was colonized was weakened by a virus. It's all documented, guys. Every single colony on Earth, via it be Australians, via it be Native Americans, not these bunk-ass Columbus-looking ass Indians that they show you, but the dark ones, via it be Native people in China, India, Native Hawaiians, Native Samoans. Everything starts off with virus. land on the land and spread virus. That's how it starts. This is all documented. Virus. Germ. Germ. Just think about the word germ. And then think about the word men. You can go Google this too. Every civilization, when they made contact with any non-melanated civilization, they died from disease. Every civilization that made contact with non-melanated civilization, the first thing happened was disease. Germ and man together. Just put those words together. And then, where do germ man come from? Germ many. Germ many. Germ many. Reverse the word, many germs. All disease in the world, because there was no disease at one point in time. No one was dying from polio. No one was dying from no diseases. None. There was absolutely no diseases until they came. None. Zero. Absolutely none. Zero. There was no germs at all. Everybody was living absolutely perfect. None of the animals were endangered. None of the fish was overfished. None of that. Nothing. Life was moving absolutely perfect. There was no AIDS. There was no mumps. There was no polio. There was no Chernobyl. There was no fucking nuclear fall off. There was none of that. None of that. Disease is the first step. Black plague and many a plagues. Disease. Spread disease, weaken the infrastructure. Those who remain that can survive it, or those who do survive somehow, they're already diluted. So what we do with the rest, we enslave the rest. Now we got the rest of them enslaved. What do we do with the rest of them? We breed them. Those who are left over, we breed them. Once we breed them and they have a large amount of children, we slaughter all the adults. Once we slaughter all of the adults, now we have little baby empty hard drives. Once the babies are empty hard drive, we can program them into thinking that slavery is life. They know nothing. Only thing they know is this is the way you guys are going to work. The next step inside this document states that after they have wiped off all the adults and the children are only left, when the children are of age or of breeding age, not necessarily of breeding age, I mean of 18 and up. This is when they are of breeding age. Breed with them. Breed with them. All of them. And then once we breed with them, we can most definitely create a narrative, a light versus dark narrative. So in every country, you have light versus dark. In Middle Eastern, there's hella dark Middle Easterns, but most Middle Easterns will point the finger at the darker skinned Middle Easterns, which is racist. I forgot the name of it, but they'll say some wild racist shit. Brazil, same thing with Brazil. You got dark-skinned Brazilians, then you got the light-skinned ones, and there's most definitely a push to erase the dark-skinned ones. Let's just keep going. So all these people are half-breeds. Everybody is half-breeds. Right? So all the people are half-breeds, and then the half-breeds are going to mix with more half-breeds because they most definitely don't fuck with the darker-skinned people. It's racist. Everybody knows this. Everybody just got to stop lying. Everybody knows this. We just got to cut the crap and be blatantly honest. Everybody knows in every culture there are darker skinned people and there are lighter skinned people. And inside, like, we've got so content with racism that we still use the word fair skin. So if a light skinned motherfucker is fair skinned, then what the fuck is a dark skinned motherfucker? Unfair skin? Treat that motherfucker unfair. Right? But we still use the word fair skin. But everybody in every culture knows that there is a racist agenda against darker skinned people. Persians know they can cap like they not. They racist fuck. Middle Easterns are racist fuck. Even inside the black community, you know, the light skinned black, all the motherfuckers that live in Inglewood, them motherfuckers racist to all the darker skinned niggas from the hood. It's an epic setup. It is what it is. Mexicans are racist fuck. We just gotta. I know plenty of Mexican families with darker skinned Mexicans, and the darker skinned nigga get treated like shit. They call the nigga mayate and all type of shit. We just gotta be honest. We gotta be flat out honest with ourselves. Racism exists in every culture, and every culture shows more favoritism to the lighter skinned person of the family. This is actual fact. We just gotta keep it real. Ain't no need to even cap today. All right. So moving forward, inside this document, it states that they create an internal divide and conquer tactic. Once they got an internal divide and conquer tactic, then we can point the finger at each other instead of pointing the finger at the ultimate problem, which is those who seek to destroy us. After they have the division, now they incorporate school, right? School tactic. So the tactic inside school is you have to go to school to make a living. But in all actuality, you only have to make a living if you want to live inside their society. And their society is, let's build houses, let's build stores, let's cut down the ecosystem, let's cut down all the trees, let's cut down all the natural resources, let's dry up all the rivers, let's create water dams to push water this way, let's take the fish out of here, put the fish over here, let's make sure these fish are not natural, let's breed fish over here in this type of contaminated ass water. All the stuff is documented, right? It's all in the documents. Let's man make this, let's man make that, ECT, yada yada yada, boom boom boom, bang bang bang. Once we got this entire setup, this monopoly plot, we're going to create streets. And streets are going to be able to take you to each destination or each location. And all these locations are locations of business. And businesses are locations that provide opportunity. And you need opportunity. You need a business, and you need to get an opportunity inside that business to make a form of money in order for you to live inside a house. And a house is most definitely designed, or the house itself is a fictitious item that we don't really need, but the society that they created made us believe that we need a house, and it made us believe that we need a bigger house than we actually need. And all these are all designs, distractive tactics to make sure that you don't think about one thing. And the main thing that no person on earth, not no person on earth, but the main thing that majority of the people on earth right now don't think about is, how did we live before colonization? Because the world was circulating for thousands of years before colonization. So now you got the businesses, you got all the business setups, you got all the work setups, you got all the financial gain setups, and all these things are all designed so you can wake up every morning and believe that you got to get to the bag so you can buy these fictitious items that you don't really need. Why do we wake up every morning and try to get money? Well, this has a lot to do with them taking everything from us from a resource standpoint. Prior to this, we were all rich. And to this day, majority black people are still rich. We just don't notice. No. We got to stop using the words elites, and we got to stop using the word masters and all that, because every time we say the word elite and every time we say the word master, that just gives them more power. When you understand words and spelling and worshiping and all that shit give people more power. But bigger than that, black people, specifically black people, we are rich. We just don't know. We don't know it, we rich. But we fail to realize is we chasing wealth in everywhere else other than ourselves. And what I mean by that is our body itself is worth damn near some millions of dollars. Yes, your body. Your organ. Let's do the math. A heart, an actual black heart is like 70,000. Black organs is like 300,000. Fucking kidneys and shit like 75 grand. Then melanin itself, I think of melanin like $480 some $1,000 a gram or some wild shit. Just melanin by itself. So our bodies itself is literally like, we're like walking $1 million bodies. I don't think like a lot of people notice. But life, right? So inside this document, it states that we must rate them for everything they believe is worth. Anything. So when you look at businesses and you look at buildings, all these buildings are on a street. And the street is designed. It's all by design. Everything is by design. None of this, from the freeway to the highway to the exit. This is our MapQuest. Like, you ever look at Google and be like, yo, how the fuck do they got... No. Do you ever look at MapQuest or any maps, like Apple Maps or Google Maps, and you go, yo, how the fuck do they got all this shit mapped out? Do ever ring a bell in your head? How the fuck they got all this shit mapped out? Everything. The whole world, my nigga. You could Google directions everywhere. But Pete. So let's rewind. Pre-colonization. It states inside this book that the king and queen of those who landed on Earth, which is the higher up people from, and this is why they call them higher ups. So just put this all into wordplay. You got, land as in coming from above, and then we call the people higher ups. Higher up where? Just put that in your, just leave that in your mindset. Higher up where? All right, cool. But yeah, so inside this document, it states that those people conjured up mercenaries, like killers, like not one of the biggest lies that we have learned in school is that all of these people that they call voyagers, and they're very good at switching up the words so we don't look at these people bad. But you got Leopold, France, you got Columbus, you got all these motherfuckers that were taught, like we were taught that they were like just settlers. Right? They were hitmen. They were real live Call of Duty kill confirmed niggas. These people, in this document, it states that these people had one mission: to find and destroy. Columbus' only mission was not to find land and talk to natives. His only mission was to find and destroy, bro. Destroy. That goes to Leopold, France. That goes to every single fucking Britain, German, Russian, whatever the fuck you want to call any of these motherfucking Czechoslovakian, whatever, the nigga from Rocky 4, look at that, whoever. They had one mission: go in there and destroy by any means. It states this in these documents. So when you think about us, we don't go to school as really adults. They let us out when we're adults, but when we're children, just think about this: a school system. We're children, and we learn all of this stuff when we're children. This is the best time to infiltrate the mind, when we are children. When we're children, we don't learn anything native. We don't learn nothing about native heritage. All we learn is the presidents After we learn the presidents, it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's so fucked up. They don't even teach us about the king and queen. They just teach us about the presidents. And those are most definitely pawns and peons. The presidents. And we learned that the presidents were good people. We learned that, you know, George Washington was a good person. Right? Yeah, he was good. He planted apples. That nigga had all slaves all through the yard. That nigga was killing slaves, all type of shit. They don't tell us that he was like a good person. I mean, they don't tell us that he was like a bad person. They just painted all of this stuff. We learn all of this stuff that they paint the narrative that they were good and nothing bad happened. Even in the aspect of slavery, they paint slavery minimum. Slavery is minimum. What they tell us about colonization, they just tell us that, you know, they make it seem like we were just submissive. And then they're going to give you this narrative that black people sold black people into slavery. That's cap. But they make it seem like we were submissive. Once, we never learned about the Dahomey tribe in school. Yes, we never learned about the Dahomey tribe in school. Nowhere in school, not from the first grade all the way to college. We never learned about the Dahomey tribe. Never. Never. You had to find that out. Not only did we not learn about the Dahomey tribe, we never learned about none of the warriors that was there that tried to protect us and stop us from going into slavery. They never taught us about none of that. According to the school books, black people were just submissive. We sold ourselves into slavery and we just submissive and we just was okay with it. What the fuck is the Dahomey tribe? Oh, so look, let me break this down to y'all. Y'all didn't know where the word Dahomey come from. I forgot y'all didn't know that. My bad. I be just thinking everybody know everything. So you guys forgot what Dahomey, the word Dahomey, it's the reason why they call niggas Dahomey. Like, yo, that's Dahomey right there. It means a nigga that'll ride for you to the death. That's what it means. Dahomey. Dahomey. It means a partner that will ride for you to the death. And if all these are the homies, these are the niggas that's really with the shits. On top of that, the Dahomey tribe was all females. Just want to put that out there for the people that didn't know. But once again, we didn't learn about none of this stuff coming up. And it's a lot of y'all right now listening saying, holy shit, I didn't know about that and I'm 30 plus. There's some of y'all in y'all 30s that probably never even knew about none of this. So this will let you know what type of information has been suppressed. But once again, school doesn't tell us that we had warriors that fought for us to the death. School doesn't tell us that. Leaders that really fought for us, never.